Alright, let's get started on your independent writing essay. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? It is better to have one or two close friends than to have a large number of casual acquaintances. Use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. Okay, good topic there. First, let's see your length. Looks very long. I hope you did this in 30 minutes. Since friends influence individual life in many respects, how to associate with friends is an important issue. Okay, maybe how we should, or the best, say the best way to, or how we should associate. How to associate is a little too general. So let's do we should, but we could also do other ways. How it is best, or the best way to associate with friends is an important issue. As society has advanced, the way of association with friends has changed. Okay, fine. Some people may think that the relationship with their friends... Okay, so with friends, plural, I would do relationships, plural, that the relationships with their friends have, because I changed to relationships, we need to change the verb, have become weaker even though they have a lot of acquaintances and social circumstances. Reflecting on this situation, there is an opinion that having one or two close friends is more valuable than associating with many casual acquaintances. Let me check to make sure you didn't copy too much here. One or two close friends looks copied. Is more valuable, that's good, you change that. Associating, okay, with many, you change from a large number to many. Okay, I think that's okay. Very good. I like to always check to make sure that you're not doing plagiarism. That means copying too much without quotation marks. Reflecting on this situation, there is an opinion that having one or two close friends is more valuable than associating with many casual acquaintances. I agree with this opinion for the following 3 reasons. Very good. Again, they want specific reasons and specific examples. So that's a very good start. Usually in TOEFL the introduction is much shorter, but maybe you're a very fast writer. So if you really did this work in 30 minutes, that's great. If not, please be aware that you can do this in 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, to begin with, people can gain mental consolation with a small number of close friends. Okay, very short, but that's clear and specific. Because people usually have concealed emotions such as anger and love. Okay, good details. They often need someone to whom they can confide their feelings. Okay, very good. Grammar's good too. To whom. For this reason, best friends are considerate. Let's see. For this reason, best friends are considerate to advise them. Let me come back to this. This is not so clear. For example, in my case, when I fell in love with a woman, I talked to my best friend. He gave me kind suggestions with which not only could I tell my feelings to her, but I could also cultivate a closer friendship with him. Okay, yeah, with which or through which. Let's see, for this reason, best friends are considerate to advise them. Yeah, this sounds awkward. awkward. Let's see, why don't we move this to later? So let's say best friends are best able to advise them. And let's move this after. Control X. Advise them in a considerate way or a considerate manner or without hurting one's feelings. I think you kind of mean like that. And okay, good. You gave a good personal example. He gave me kind suggestions with which, okay, I read that. As the example shows, close friends, even though few in number, are important for confiding private emotions that are difficult to share with casual acquaintances. Okay. Very good specific examples there, and also, of course, like I said, good specific reason. Okay, I don't want this underlined. Okay, this just sounded a little awkward. Wasn't so clear. Again, you can say this, advise in a considerate manner, or best able to, give advice without hurting one's feelings. In addition, people can develop their social abilities through understanding different perspectives of close friends. Let me look at that again. Through understanding. Okay, I think that's pretty clear. Whereas casual acquaintances usually show superficial kindness and make compliments, best friends are more frank and sincere. Okay, very good point, especially, frank. For instance, when I asked my close friend whether I was wrong about my blaming coworkers for their mistakes, he pointed out that I was wrong and that I should have engaged in constructive criticism. Okay, this is a good phrase. Good level of vocabulary. From this advice, I could learn the importance of controlling my emotions. Thus, frank opinions from best friends, which may not come from casual acquaintances, are valuable to improve one's social abilities. Okay, this is good. Maybe, in 30 minutes work, this is the best you can do. If you did this at home with no time limits, then I would have given something about this, an example where maybe you ask the same kind of advice of a casual acquaintance and they quickly said, oh, I think you're right, and didn't give you any good or helpful advice. Okay, but in TOEFL, this is good, but this form of argument could be attacked because you did not really prove this one thing that I've highlighted here. Okay, but let's move on. Finally, a few close friends will be lifelong friends with whom people will share their joys and sorrows. Okay, not always. So let's say a few close friends will likely be or are more likely to be, probably be. There are different ways you could say this, but you want to be factual. This is not always true. While a family is an essential element for one's life, a family, I would either say one's family, or this is kind of like a specific case, so the family, one person's family, the family, but one's is fine. While one's family is an essential element for one's life, Friends play different roles from family members. With lifelong friends, people can enjoy reminiscing, okay, again, a good level of vocabulary about various events in their lives, such as bachelor parties, good, or troubles and successes in their jobs, which will be different from the memories of family members. Okay, but I've been to my brother's bachelor parties, and so this not again. You have to be careful about stating things like they're 100% true. So let's change that a little, which will likely we used last time. So let's say probably be different. There are different ways you can say this, but probably is the first thing that popped up in my head. Be different from the memories of family members through these common recollections with best friends, individual life. Let's see, let's continue with one. One's individual life will become richer and more meaningful. So this is considered a little more academic than your. Okay, try, when possible, avoid your. One's is much more academic. Okay, therefore, close friends are more precious to expand people's lives than mere acquaintances, with whom they would eventually... Okay, let me see. Therefore, close friends are more precious to expand people's lives than mere acquaintances, with whom they... So they can refer back to acquaintances or people. I think you mean people. Yeah, I think that's right. So when it's not clear, when this pronoun can refer back to two nouns, then it's best to just use the noun. People would eventually lose contact. Okay, and this is underlined, but this is right after a preposition to have the M. Okay, in conclusion, although a large number of casual acquaintances are important in social circumstances, I would like to have one or two close friends. Okay, not sure you mentioned about this, so I don't know if you want to say this. If they asked you to compare, like not necessarily just focus on your opinion, then maybe you want to add that. But here it's just your opinion. Let me underline this. This is not so bad, but it's not really good for your summary. What I would have done is like, for the reasons stated above, comma, I would like to have one or two close friends. Okay, then if usually that's all you have time to do is one sentence for 30-minute essay, unless you're a fast typist. But if you're a fast typist, then a final thought is great, or, summary in detail. This is not only because I can develop myself socially by their frank opinions, but also because they afford me mental consolation. Okay, so that mentioned two things, the mental consolation and frankness. But maybe this third idea, it's a little funny if you do this summary style and mention 2 out of 3. So I'm seeing how I can in a very brief manner summarize this main point. Richer, more meaningful sounds good. Let's see. This not because I develop myself socially, but also because they afford me mental consolation. And a more meaningful life. Okay, we don't have much time, so you have to be fast. But the richer idea could have also worked. But of course, you need you need the same type of grammar. So noun phrase. This was easier to think of, noun phrase. Okay, so if you're going to do this kind of summary in detail, like giving the 3 reasons, don't give just 2 reasons, give all 3. Okay, and maybe it's different than in the topic sentences, but the general idea should be there. And otherwise, just don't do this. Okay, if you really want to do this, you might, instead of this kind of construction, you might say this is mostly because ... 2 things. So a different type of grammatical construction would be good here. Okay, and again, this kind of thing I would start with for the reasons stated above, comma, I would like to have 1 or 2 close friends. And for TOEFL, that's enough. Okay, let me just put this as an alternative ending. Then you would have more time, like I mentioned before, about one of your arguments not being so strong. About the opposite of your opinion. Then you could have added more examples, for example here. So you want to focus almost all of your time on the body paragraphs. Okay, that's where you add a lot of content. This kind of thing, you're just saying the same thing again, and you don't have to do that in TOEFL. Okay, of course, if you're super fast and you're happy with your examples, then yeah, go ahead, add some more, like either summary or final thought. But generally, people end this way. Then you might have time also to go back through your essay and look for any typos, typing errors. But actually your typing is quite good. Maybe you did that anyway. Very, very few errors here. And like I said, all in all, this is very well done. They asked you for specific reasons and examples, and I think you did that. And most of your ideas are very clear, except for this one was a little awkwardly written, and I think this is what you intended to say. Okay, and all in all, your grammar is very good, and your vocabulary level is excellent, really great. So I would say that's like your strongest weapon, so use that secret weapon to the best of your ability. Okay, your grammar is also quite good, but as far as impressing me as a reader, what really impressed me the most was how well you can choose the most appropriate words, 90-95% of the time. Okay, do be careful about this kind of thing, about stating things like they're 100% true. You're going to need to use words like this, likely or most likely or probably or usually, almost always. Those kind of words are sometimes missing in your writing, and that makes your argument a little weaker than it should be. Okay, for 5 out of 5. It needs to be a little stronger, a little more factual, a little less easy to attack your opinions. Okay, but all in all, this is really well done, so I estimate 4.5 out of 5 on a scale of 0 to 5, and that's a very high score that is rarely given. For most people, that's like a peak score, even for like Japanese professors of English. That's like a peak score for them. But I do believe you can get 5 out of 5 with a little more work and a little more thought about your arguments. And like I've been mentioning about adding these kind of words like likely, probably, almost always. So don't get satisfied with your high score. And if you do go over time, please leave a little note like at the bottom of the page, like this work was done in 35 minutes or something like that. Then I can give you some hints on things that can be shortened like I did here. This could be shortened. Also, your introduction could easily be shortened to about this length. Okay? But maybe you're a super genius and you did this in the time limit, and I think it's really great, and 4.5 out of 5 is a score I very rarely get. So I have to say well done, keep up the good work, and I look forward to reading your next work.